the blue for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hi everyone, what is up? Today's vlog is going to be a reaction to my favorite, or one of my favorite movies, or one of my favorite movies that the kids always mention in class. And this is the Leap movie. Fun fact about Leap, I actually looked it up, is that it originally was called Ballerina, but because it didn't make so much money, it's had to be called Leap. I don't know what happened there, but it is a really cool movie, I think, inspiring kids to want to learn how to dance. But then again, they do have funny portrayals of how dance is, such as their training methods. I watched clips of it right before, and they have these training methods which are kind of absurd, like Karate Kid absurd, where they would stand on barrels and they would spin with cups. And okay, ballerinas don't train like this. So this is just from a perspective of a ballet teacher. It is really funny that they portray her training like this when they also portray it in class. So she walks in on the first day where she's holding, like she's learning first position, second position, which are positions of her feet. But then she trains with this other lady who teaches her apparently like the correct way of training, and they do really funny things like the jumping and the landing, and there are really good morals in this ballet and good story plot. Definitely, I love the idea of it, but it's just funny how they executed the whole training part, which is like the secret training where she did with the lady was not ballet at all. Just want to point that out. I have a kid who actually came up to me and said, "Can I stand on my toes like the girl on Leap?" And I feel like for someone who teaches ballet, that kind of scares me, that all my kids would want to walk on their toes, when we all know that we're not walking on our toes, we walk in our point shoes. And I had one more kid who said, "Teacher, I don't want to walk on my toes just like the girl in Leap because it looks like it hurts." And these things, they give fears to kids, so I do feel like they should have been more careful in that sense. Otherwise, I think the movie is great. I'm not here to diss the movie at all. I think that the movie had really great points, such as the landing and jumping thing. By the way, if you're watching kids, when you jump and then you land on your toe, ball, and heel. And this is what makes her jump so smooth when it lands. And I always tell you girls that you should not make any sound when you jump, because your jump should be quiet. You are not an elephant, just like it mentioned in the movie, which I also always say. And you are not any animal that's heavy. Yeah, when we jump, we try to land quietly. This is not to diss on your weight, okay? Anyone who's heavy can jump like they're light too. So whatever body type you are, we just learn how to control our landing is the point of this movie. Anyway, so I did want to watch this movie scene with you guys, which is the last movie scene in this movie. And I remember watching this 2 years ago, but I want to rewatch it again because it was really funny. And I want to point out something. I wanted to do a review on this because one of my kids said, "Teacher, I want to do that crazy jumpy thing in the end of this ballet." And I found out watching it that it was really dangerous. So I want to point that out before watching it. And let's get started. Paris Opera is so beautiful, guys.
Looks like you need more training. You were nowhere near ready.
Whoa. We don't train like that. So it's kind of shocking that she just went, "Whoa, I'm going to do a tilt right now with my legs." Although, you see teacher do that on her Instagram and like other kids do that, but we don't like just, okay, anyway, I guess they're just trying to make a point. Oh, let's do berets to make this look more serious.
Quiet! Tonight these seats will be full. Paris will be looking at me, adoring me.
Or not.
I already told you, you are nothing. You will always be nothing.
Only one way to find out.
Just before we continue, this is kind of funny that I guess maybe this is what goes on in dancers' heads, but this isn't really anything that happens. So don't try it at home, kids. We don't pick battles with our friends, and it's kind of funny how they just randomly did berets, and it's like, I'm gonna attack you. Let's do berets. But I love it. I love it. No, I just don't want the kids to get any wrong ideas. But I think as an adult, this is really funny. And as a dancer, it makes me laugh so much. It's really cool. She has good turnout. Aha. Okay, do you guys feel like Felicie is kind of more of a gymnast than a ballerina? I mean, like, I get it, she's new, but if she trained and she is supposed to win this dance battle, I think, then I would have expected a little more technique in her movement. Whereas the other girl had like really good turnout. Like she went ala sikon and she did like really nice pas de chat with the turnout. Pas de chat, by the way, is the jump that she did, means step of a cat. And then her grand battement was like really clean, and like grand battement was really clean. So it was kind of funny how she just randomly just did a battement and turned in, and she jumped a split jump. These are things you'd see on a beam, right, in gymnastics, where you'd switch sides. Am I the only one thinking like this? But I just felt like she needed to, you know, like, I get it, her rival danced longer than her, but at least give her some technique for the months that she had been training. She should know the basics, and it's kind of funny how she can already do all these new things. Kids, progress is not instant, so this is not possible in just how many months of training. You do need a lot of training just to do certain jumps and certain turns. Battle. Guys, we don't have dance battles. It would be cool to have ballet dance battles, but I don't know how that would fit into our ballet scene. But I think you can, actions speak louder than words. We don't have to battle, but yeah, this is fun too. But yeah, doesn't it bother you that this girl, her friend, she never has her hair fixed? And in ballet class, I always tell you, you need to have your hair in a neat bun with no bangs, so that when you turn and when you jump, it doesn't get in your hair. But this girl and her friends, and including Felicie, never has her hair in a proper neat bun. It bothers me so much that this other girl who lost had so much neater hair, and she trained for longer periods of time, but she didn't win the battle just because Felicie was more talented. Okay, I get the point is, you know, the whole point of the movie is this inspiring story of Felicie, and I love the moral of the story, but at least give her a little more, you know, neater hair, or, you know, not so messy. At least make her look nice. If you want to make her like spunky, they could have done like a really cool cut, but still clean. Just clean. Jumping over chairs. Not safe, kids. Ooh. Shnay, shnay, shnay. Woo. Oh. Whoa. Wow, that was super crazy. She went from a pirouette, no preparation at all. She just started spinning, and she went into a nice, beautiful attitude. That takes super, like, lots of amounts of training. I guess I'm still just pointing out, kids, it does take a really long time to develop this type of technique, but this doesn't happen in ballets. No, wait. These do happen in really maybe more neoclassical ballets. I've seen it done but with no preparation. And wow, she must be amazing. That came from nothing. It's almost like she just slid off nothing. So yeah, when you start learning pirouettes, I think you will understand. So just be careful. It is funny, but it is cool also. What are they about to do? This is dangerous, and I've been to the Paris Opera. This whole movie, I mean, like where this whole scene was shot was where the Paris Opera, it is the Paris Opera Ballet, so it's pretty steep. So kids, don't try this at home where you try to jump over your stairs. It is not a form of training at all. We don't do this. We don't do this to our kids. We say, imagine like you're jumping over the stair, or we imagine jumping over a chair, but we never say actually do it. These are tricks. This is not dancing. Like, dancing is supposed to be like from your heart, you know, like I get it. This is the point of the movie also. In the end, I know that she does dance with her favorite dancer from the heart. But it is crazy that this dance battle ended with who can jump, I don't know, through the stairs. I don't know the point of the movie. Just don't try it at home, okay? Promise me, don't try it at home. I do have a kid who said, teacher, can you teach me the crazy jumpy thing that Felicie did? And again, that really scares me as a teacher, because that's not cool. I don't want to see my kids get hurt at home, especially now that they're not doing anything. If they'd rewatch this movie, they'd probably want to try it, or it might actually discourage you from learning how to dance ballet, because you're like, I can't jump over a stair. I don't want to do ballet anymore. I mean, who knows, right? So it's better to just be safe. And I'm just telling you, enjoy this movie, but don't overthink it. Few things to point out, just don't copy what she does. I love this movie. Again, I'm not here to diss it. I love the moral of the movie's story, but I do feel like there were parts that they could have portrayed a lot better, where she was dancing on the rooftops, and she was also dancing like on top of her toes, not wearing proper ballet shoes, by the way. She was just wearing her flats, like her normal shoes. If you saw, even in the battle scene, she wasn't really wearing pointe shoes at all, and she was just wearing like these black flats that I don't know, she was wearing. I don't know if they're ballet flats or if they're flats, but no way can you dance on your toes where your friend is wearing proper shoes and she gets to dance like in proper shoes, which is fine. But Felicie's not dancing in proper shoes at all. But again, this is not to say anything bad about it. Whoever made the movie probably just wanted to focus on the story, but not really so much on the dancing. I wish there were more dancing elements or more ballet elements in Felicie's dancing, because for sure her friend had a lot more ballet elements in her movements, but Felicie did not. And the crazy jumpy thingy was just too much for me in the end. It could have been something else. Like, I don't know if it would have been a dance battle, like real dance battle, but I guess you see that in other movies already. So yeah, that's just my disclaimer for you kids. I'm just warning you girls not to take it too seriously, not to jump off your couches, not to try dancing on your toes, because there is a time to be ready to dance on your toes. And I'm sure your teachers have told you this. We don't just dance on our toes like immediately. We try to wait for a period of time till your muscles and your bones are ready. She hasn't been dancing for so long, and all of a sudden she can stand on her toes. Is not normal. So there, this is my review of the ballerina movie and the battle scene. If I were to judge this battle scene on a ballet perspective, I would definitely give it somewhere like a 4 out of 10. Is that mean? It's just that I guess as a dancer, I cannot accept this kind of technique, and you know, like just randomly putting them on pointe shoes and all of this random crazy jumps and then over the chair is not safe. I feel so bad as a teacher. I want to judge it properly. But I guess as a movie as a whole, I did enjoy it. and I love the moral of the story, so I could give it somewhere a 7 out of 10 on a dancer's perspective. Just noticed something cool while making this vlog, but I was wearing my Paris Opera Ballet shirt. Is that crazy? Oh my gosh. And it was about around this time that I was actually in Paris. Yes, August of 2018. It's now 2020. We're in this pandemic. I was originally supposed to go to Europe this July. Yes, and to Paris also. And I was supposed to go to to St. Petersburg on April, but my tickets were cancelled because of the virus. Anyway, Paris Opera, really fun fact was, it was the first, well, the Paris Opera, the Academy, it was the first ballet theater company that was established in the world. So, you know, like, it's amazing how they had to set this whole movie there. I find that cool. And it, you know, went through different names, but now it's called the Paris Opera Ballet. So I find it really cool. I remember learning about its architecture. See, this is why I'm a ballet teacher and don't know much about the other stuff. But I remember they said something about importing 30 different kinds of marble just for this opera house. I lined up for tickets going inside just to see the inside of the Paris Opera. It was amazing. I wish I could have watched the show. I really wanted to this year, but I could not. Probably next year, the next year when this pandemic is over. But the Phantom of the Opera was also, well, it also was inspired by the Paris Opera. If you notice the design and the architecture, it is really unique also in the musical Phantom of the Opera, and so it is also evident here in Leap. You'll see the design is exactly the same, the red velvet and all the circular form, and also the different shapes of the, you know, the stones and the such. It's really beautiful. You can all look it up if you're interested. There's so many collaborations with beautiful artists, and it's also one of the, it's like it started the whole romantic period and all of this. So it is such a wonderful piece of history. If you guys have a chance to go to Paris, you should check it out. And if you want to check it out, it's also in one of my vlogs. I did a Paris walkabout tour where I went all around Paris, and I have it. You guys can check it out. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Again, just a quick fun fact before I end. And if you like this video, again, don't forget to subscribe and click my like button. If you like this reaction video, since it's the first time I've done something like this, let me know in the comment section and I can do more about different ballet videos. So yes, thank you for watching. Bye!